Hello there YouTube, Elita Legionarii here, and today I'll be bringing you what I suppose is my first 31k game upload. Like, I've done a few 31ks before, but I thought, I might as well upload one. And this one I actually did pretty good at. Like, usually I get absolutely wasted in every 31k game I play, so it's just they're not worth uploading, because I really don't I always make a hash of it basically. But this game, I did pretty good, and I got a couple other ones done quite good. And then I'm joining the Heaven Clan. I've been giving it some serious thought, just because they're good players, friendly guys, and I want to get my skills back, which were really quite crummy at Rome Total War these days in comparison to what they used to be. And 31k just provides you with a much more interesting teamwork sort of, that closely working together thing that you don't often get in CWB games these days on Rome Total War. It's very unfortunate, so I'm really giving it serious thought. So I've gone with the pretty standard build for 31k. I'm also using the Aragorn skin pack here, if you notice that. Got 14 urban cohorts. I know I'm spamming urbans, but basically that's what you do in 31k when you use Rome, so it doesn't count. Even though I know I always flogged it continuously, because it's 31k, that's very different, and if you didn't bring urbans you'd be struggling, to be honest. So anyway, 2 is meat shield. All of them are gold, and then just 2 rows of 5 in this case, and 2 rows of 5 and then 2 rows of and just a couple of reserves for any flanking or anything like that. My general's dead smack in the centre at the back. Then I have 6 gold Praetorian cavalry. I mean, they look pretty darn awesome on this mod too, and some really fantastic looking units there. My opponent's is Biscuits. Now, he's been doing 31k for a few months now, so he's a lot better at it than me. He has gone with a slightly bigger infantry build, I think. He's got 3 urban cohorts up front and loose for his meat shield. 6 here with his general there. Then he's got a Legionary first cohort, which is a good unit to have. Looks fairly awesome with the skin pack as well. That gives him a certain morale boost for the whole army. Then he's got 1 on this flank and another on this flank, and then 2 urbans behind those to support. Now, this is something I've noticed Biscuits do all the time with his Roman builds for 31k. So at the time I wasn't aware of it, but I am now, so I'll be more careful with that when I face him. Then he's got only 4 cavalry though, so interesting how he does that though. So he's got 4, I think, they gold Praetorian cavalry. So we kind of just advance each other in typical 31k order. I decide that I'm probably going to need more Peeler shields, but at the same time that kind of weakens my line up a bit. Anyway, I begin the Peeler duel at the start here, and it's just the standard here. So I just turf my Peeler out at him. And by no means do I really have much experience with 31k. I've watched a few guys play it, of course, and it is very interesting to watch to play, but I'm absolutely terrible at it. And it's pretty clever having this one here, because my guys both wasted their Peeler on this one and not these 2 behind, so it was quite clever. So I decide to instead just go into Testudo, because I've seen the guys online do this as well. And by going into Testudo, his guys will hopefully biff their Peeler into the Testudo and waste them. But of course he just charges me when that happens, so what I decided to do is turn these guys' Peeler on as well. However, did I turn the back guys on? Hopefully I don't, but I might have. But of course he's moving his guy into a slightly flankable position, which is smart, because by doing that it's like my guys have this potential concern about being slightly outflanked. Plus I'm in cross shot here, and I do open up fire here, but his Peeler screen's going to absorb that as well, so he's very, very clever in his placement of his Peeler screen. So I break out of my Testudo, but he's gone into a tight formation, so these guys are losing, and I'm somewhat outflanked. As you can see, I'm paying for it badly in this unit, but I don't even think I have Peeler on, so this unit's going to be destroyed by Peeler alone, so that was really stupid. Here he brings his cav in, I think. No, he doesn't. I'm shifting these guys over. I get impatient here, so this is where I start making mistakes. I start charging into his guys here. I make a lot of mistakes with my infantry, but he brings his cavalry in here. He sees an opportunity to rout this unit, but I was not too worried. I was hoping I might be able to get his guys to get stuck on these guys before he can withdraw and then send my guys in and perhaps cause a counter rout, but he gets a very good disengagement there. I don't always get the best disengagement. As you can see, it looks very clumpy and sloppy for me when I try it. However, I do manage to rout 1, 2, and I'm going straight for his general here because I was hoping I might be able to kill his general because I knew that would make a big effect. So I got 3 of his guys there, so I wasn't too concerned. But as you can see, when I try to withdraw, it's very messy. I don't get out very well. Like a lot of my cav here, they're not even trying. I'm trying to get them to disengage, but they're not coming out very well. So I think that was probably because I didn't have guard mode on at the time. So he's doing much better just with his disengagements. The infantry fights, I've begun infantry fights on the side, but they're mostly going his way. I do have a cavalry advantage, but he used this very well, and he's managing to destroy most of my infantry here. So 31k is kind of about timing and precision. It's the one part I usually muck up with 31k is always the cavalry timing. I never get it quite right. However, it's certainly a fun form of game, but it's very, very different from CWB, so it does make it trickier. Now, here I had another crack at his general, and I did get him, and that did give me some confidence, because when you kill generals, the whole morale thing does take a much more bludgeoning kind of impact on them than it does in CWB, or at least with the Romans. So it's going quite good at this stage for my guys. But he gets a good disengagement here, and I decide to disengage as well, wait for another charge. But he's doing very well with his cavalry because I have got a lot more. I've got 2 more cavalry here. And he just come in here, and he just always gets the timing right in this fight, and I don't. So what ends up happening is I lose my general then, 7 of my units rout, and I basically balls up the whole thing at this point. But absolutely like enjoying it, but I'm not very good at it. Like I usually get my cav wrong. I usually get the timing of the cav wrong. I just usually get something wrong on 31k. I haven't played enough of it. I'm not experienced at it. Biscuits, as I said, has been playing it probably for 4 months now, so he's got an edge on me here. Now, I made a balls up here because I thought I'd go out and get rid of these cav while I could, but he just timed his counter charge right, and he manages to rout 2 there, and I think he gets my rest of my cav here. There's 3. Yeah, he's got my cav there. As soon as my cav are gone, he wins. It's really that simple. Over here, his infantry's doing better. He did better in the peeler fight. He used his peeler smarter than I did. I'm really not used to having used 14 urban cohort as well in an army. It's just not, you know. And there's an art form to timing your cav and to timing where you put your infantry, all those things. There's a big art form in it. And as you can see, he's got his cav free, and while they're only few in number, it's enough to get rid of a lot of these tired urbans. So at this stage, Biscuits got me pretty well handled in this fight. Although I can honestly say I was fairly pleased with the results, because I got a few of his guys. I got his general before he got mine. I destroyed most of his cavalry, and it didn't go down easily. He did look like eventually, by the time I'm all dead and stuff, or all my guys are all dead, not me. My guys are all defeated. Biscuits has lost a fair amount of his own troops as well, I guess. Over here, one of my guys regrouped, and for some reason it was over here fighting this unit. And it's winning that fight. But there you go. He's got my general's unit there and the rest, and he's still got quite a few guys left, I suppose. Although a lot of them are depleted, so I'm just going to go to triple speed here to get to the end of this, because he's just going to hammer and anvil me there, routs me, and then there's just this unit left. He decides to pull back though, because most of his urbans are actually fairly depleted. You know, and like 20 or 30 men left in them, but this one's like a full 61. That one there's got 30 something in it. This unit was very funny, like it was glitched, because look at these units here, like act like they're still fighting, but they're not. So it's glitched the whole unit out for some reason. I'm not really sure why that happened. You'll see what happens when I make my attack on them, because I just think, well, you know, I'm not going to muck them around, I've already been defeated, so... I mean, if you watch what happens here, look, these 5 guys attack, and then these guys stop, and then they attack, and then these guys stop, and then wait for these guys to catch up, and then they attack. It was a glitch. I'm not really sure what caused that. But sometimes those things happen. It can be pretty detrimental. It's annoying when it happens in the middle of a really important part of the fight, but it doesn't matter now. It's not like I was going to win anyway. But I was pretty pleased, because, I mean, Biscuits has been at this stuff for several months, and I've only done about... probably 10 31Ks in as much as 2 years, so I was pretty pleased, really, to be honest. Most of the other games I had with him, he just destroyed me much quicker than this. So this is a close defeat. I mean, I've got kills that are comparable to him, and his army's a bit bigger than mine, so I felt pretty pleased with that. I know I lost, but it's pretty good for me with 31k, because I mean, I'm pretty experienced at the CWB side of the game, and I've been playing this game for 2 years or so, and I know what I'm doing online and stuff, but the difference is 31k is so different to CWB, so you can't just use the same tactics that you use there, and it's just much more tricky that way, I guess. But as you can see, pretty even one on the board. My infantry didn't do too bad. A few of them did. This one got pretty creamed. I think this one got all that peel into it. And then the Praetorian Cavalry, they did pretty good, really. I mean, I was pretty pleased with it. I mean, I'm sure as Biscuits scorecards pretty much similar to that, because our kills are very, very similar. It's a good game to Biscuits. Of course, he's got his YouTube channel now, so I'll be linking that. So be sure to check that. He does put up a lot more interesting 31Ks than this one. So be sure you go check that out. And I hope you enjoyed this one. Great game to you, Biscuits. And yeah, just hope you enjoyed it, guys, and I'll see you soon next time.